Well, there's a few people that I'd like to invite, and they all actually come from the same background. In fact, they all went and were at Fabrica in Italy, which is one of Benetton's big projects. The first one are a couple who have created a thing called Technology Will Save Us, and it's essentially kind of a workshop concept that encourages people to build their own technology. So it's not just about consuming the stuff that's made for us, but encouraging people to develop things themselves and build basic robots and build basic technology. And that's Daniel Hirschman and Bethany Kobe, who've created that. I think they've just come back from a TEDx on the continent where they've been talking about that, and they're doing a lot of stuff around education. And the third person who they know and who's a great artist and thinker is a guy called Jonathan Harris, who probably came to prominence for a piece called We Feel Fine, which basically scans the internet to get sentiment and understands what the feelings are on the internet. So it's looking for keywords like happy, sad, bored, excited, miserable, and then brought that to life using sort of data visualization. And a really beautiful site and concept that then became a book and culminated in Jonathan speaking at TED a couple of years ago. I always liken him to the Eameses in terms of a blurred line of creativity, but where commerce and creativity map together. The Eameses were famous for collaborating with IBM and kind of stretching IBM's thinking, and I think Jonathan can play the same role. So I'd love to hear what he thinks about 3D in general, and I'd love to see what Bethany and Daniel think about in terms of how kids can start utilizing 3D and how 3D might impact education in general. So I think a panel around education would be great, and getting kids involved in how they might rethink creativity and how teachers might rethink learning using 3D as a tool in the classroom. I'm Johnny Vulkan. I am a partner at a company called Anomaly. We're based in New York and in London. I'm based in New York, and I've been here for 12 years. And we help brands communicate with people. We do everything from product innovation to advertising to events. And we also have a cooking show. We just, in fact, won an Emmy last week for a cooking show that we run on PBS in the US. I'd love to see how 3D could impact that. I'd love to see how cooking technique could be explained in a better way using 3D technology. So that would be an exciting breakthrough that I think we'd personally love. But we're in the business of solving people's marketing and business problems with a bunch of very diverse creative thinkers. And as I say, some of it's advertising, some of it's product innovation, and all things in between. Well, I think at the basic level, entertainment is obviously the big area where we'll see 3D becoming much more common as technology enters the home at an affordable price point, and the proliferation of 3D cameras means that more people are creating their own 3D content. So I think that's the very first obvious one, and obviously one that I'm very excited about in terms of how it impacts immersive entertainment. But I think the second part is really the democratization of 3D printing and production, and this idea that certainly now you've got affordable 3D printers. I was at an event last night looking at kits that retail for less than $1,000. You can build your own 3D printer at home in less than 10 hours and be up and running, producing things. And in fact, some people are even building their own second 3D printing kits using the 3D printer to build it. So kind of even folding in on itself. But I think that's very exciting, the idea that we will soon be ordering things online as CAD artwork and printing them out at home, whether that be jewelry or household items. And as that technology keeps improving, the complexity of that will keep improving as well. I think the best case studies are the ones that are probably the most visible. And I think that's really what the movies have done in terms of how they have taken storytelling to another level. And I think we've gone past the gimmickry of somebody pointing a thing at a screen that's meant to be 3D and you're meant to get excited by that, to using 3D as a subtle layering technique. So you just get a sense of expanse and that you're actually in the story. Obviously, we do love to have things thrown at us, and that makes it very fun. But I think there's a subtlety now in how 3D is being used that makes it feel much richer and more sustainable than maybe the first 3D movie that I saw, which was Jaws 3D, which was all about things coming at you. But I think the other examples are really, as I say, things like MakerBot, which is this kit to build your own 3D printer. I think those for me are the most exciting things happening in the broader definition of 3D. The idea that I can literally buy a kit, build it at home myself, and be printing sort of 10 hours later is quite remarkable. And I think that's a really exciting thing that we've started to see in the last year as 3D printing costs have come down. And I think we may be a year away from seeing that really becoming a readily available consumer concept that a lot of people can get their heads around and a lot of people can play with, and that's very exciting. So that's maybe a nod to where it's heading.